All right, hello everybody. Welcome back. Welcome back up here. Thank you so much for the questions and thank you so much for the good responses and welcome to the new subscribers, guys. Appreciate it up here. And today, me and Paulina, we picked up a topic, the masculine and the feminine perspective on the twin flames journey. That it came from base from the group, the I Am Twin Flame that Paulina did a very nice kind of like a poll for it, and we just look at it into that pool. We decided coming out and talk about this particular situations about the masculine and the feminine perspective in there for it. And hopefully, guys, this video can help you out. Please don't hesitate to ask questions, if any, for it. We will try to give you the best that our knowledge and sharing up here with you guys. And let's having a great time. Let's having some this beautiful inner peace in chat. And hopefully the next hour we are gonna have a great talk with great nuggets together. All right, so without the other ado, I'm giving you the mic to Paulina. So,
Thank you, baby. That was a
yep.
good introduction. And exact question was about masculine perspective because it appears to me that most people are just interested in this masculine uh, point of view, just because they don't have contact with their masculine counterparts as they understand. They try to understand what happens on the other side of the connection. They try to decipher. They try to do all this mental work. What happens in the head of their counterpart, missing one important point that whatever happens on the other side of the connection, your other counterpart, it should not be your concern, it should not be your worry, and you would do better if you just save your energy and bring this energy back to you and try to see where is your masculine part, like where is your divine masculine powers within. Because honestly, we are since we both consist from this feminine and masculine parts, the connection and the journey will be asking you to balance it out. They will be asking you if there is one part of you that you abandoned, neglected, or you were forced to forget due to life experiences. For example, you needed to kind of neglect your masculine side because you were always demanded to act very, very feminine way. That's this imbalance that you will have to master. So that's our self, I think, inquiry or self discovery journey to understand which parts of you I really neglected or abandoned throughout my life, kind of those forgotten parts, and just to bring them to balance. Because as we will be looking inside what happens in you, those experiences you had in life, you will see that one part feels more familiar. Oh, I feel more divine masculine. Oh, I feel more divine feminine. I feel more like runner, I feel more like chaser in soul connections. It's like a guideline for you not to put yourself into the box. Like once you feel, oh, I'm more like a runner in twin flame connection, let's say, I should just stay within this label of runner and do everything that is according to the specifics that people explain what does it mean to be a runner or what does it mean to be divine masculine and all of that. Just kind of have an overview what really happens in your life and your heart and soul. Where is this imbalance going to? Like, do you feel really like you're lacking some of those masculine powerful traits, or maybe you're lacking more this emotional and feminine traits, for example? So just really the power of observing and how that we're gonna starting from this, but then we're gonna explain how it really helps to build the connection. Like once you retrieve all of those both parts, feminine and masculine, you bring them to balance, then you use these powers, you bring them to the connections that you're encountering. So that's the outline for today's video. And if you have some more specific questions or you want to share your experiences, feel free to put it into the chat.
All right, so it's time to say hi. Hi Lorna, hi Eva, hi Twin Flame Power. Thank you guys for coming in and everyone that is stepping in up here. Um, just as Paulina was talking about it, it's like see, um, when we talking about divine feminine, divine masculine, for it to it, a lot of the people take a one role. They take in the role like I'm a the divine feminine and he's the divine masculine. Here you already create a separations internally inside of yourself. You taking a role and a based of how you feel within your emotions, your spirituality, your energy within yourself, and your focus on the one or the other. Because this is what it's like in within you. You'll focus within this. Now, here's what's gonna happen. You have two things that can happen within you. You can help and bring that toxic part of the dynamics about the energies within you, or you can bring the things that you need to evolve in there and grow it within the connection. Okay, so what happened is in there. We told the people until you don't unite the divine feminine, divine masculine energies inside of you, you're always gonna be having a conflict. First of all, internal conflicts within yourself in there, and then that internal conflict is going to bring that to the external conflict with your soul connection with your partner within the connections itself. And the way this is working up here, we're talking about personally from personal experience. Whatever you're discussing, whatever the issues is, whatever the situations is. For example, I talking about something with Paulina. I am this masculine, and I'm saying, listen, you need to do this and this for it because that is going to create more security and so on and so on in there. And she's right away like, okay, what it's going to take it, how it's going to be, what it needs to be, research is done it. Do you familiar with this and so on and so on and so on. Then I'm taking that same energies from her and I work it out feminine energies because I'm coming with my masculine energies towards her. She processed this analogic part inside of her with her feminine and masculine energies and sends me a feedback. Here's what happens to a lot of the people. If the masculine energy is not healed within you, the masculine approach from her, it's gonna fight my masculine approach in me. Her feminine energies within her, if I don't agree with her feminine energy is gonna fight with the feminine energies within me. But what happens is when you are balanced within yourself in there, the both my feminine and masculine energies cooperated with the both feminine and masculine energies. So if I'm acting masculine, she acting feminine, she's get back to me. I'm looking at and accepting the things her feminine points, then I'm getting it back within her as a feminine energies, and she using her masculine energies to get back to me. So we have this cooperations between feminine and masculine energies because guess what? We're not taking the role. There is no role of feminine and masculine in there. Okay? Yes, in a physical term, yes, we're feminine and masculine. But within the relationship, within the energy, because it's only one energy, the energy doesn't have a sex. See, within the energies, you begin to understanding how that flows. And this is the beauty of the love and the connection. Because the both energies, they're they're kind of like the yin yang moves within you from one to another, and they create what is supposed to be, and they're creating the peace, they're creating the love, and then that mixtures of energy that it's coming within the connections, it's coming inside. Whatever you feel like you have this internal fights within you because of they say something and they're like, oh my god, they're toxic divine masculine because they trigger something in me. They're supposed to trigger something in you so you can work things on it. But if you're not aware of those energies inside of you, guess what? You are taking it as a defensive instead of trying to see the work the things out in there. This is why the twin flames journey comes in to put these unifications in place for this. So if you put yourself there as a masculine or feminine, and you put your titles in there, you still have to work and the counterbalance, because you're in balance. You take one side for it. So this is what I wanted to say. I mean, I know Darling has a lot of things to say in there
Mm.
for it.
Yeah, let's take a comment and then I will
Yeah.
address what you were saying. Eva, I found myself and no more run or chase. For example, you're not go to your husband to work, but you're doing your things peaceful, no worries what he's doing. Yeah, there has to be balance. Like you have to see that in life, like you have to have those two parts in a control. So maybe as it looks like this is the example, like what happens once you unite those energies. Like you don't feel like, oh, my husband will go to work, I can just lay down, I can take care only about like emotional part of the connection because I feeling more in my feminine energies. That means I can just sit back and just let the life happen. But then you're missing out of on this masculine or action part of the experience on earth, like because you're becoming more passive. That's the like feminine energy in general, as much as it's beautiful, it's more on the passive side. What the masculine perspective would be, oh, my job as a masculine part of the connection is to provide a house, to build a house, repair the house. I don't have to deal with the emotional part. That's a women's job or feminine job. But that creates this imbalance, because the more masculine person will be just seeing things just from these material perspectives, while the feminine will be, yes, will be more engaged in the emotions, but there is lack of this performance in 3D and within a material realm. So you have to feel powers in both of those realms, and just with this inner power you can start to cooperate with someone without this need, because it's one of the methods to heal these codependencies in these connections, that it's, yes, I'm just feminine here and I need someone to take care of me because I don't have my masculine capabilities to take care of myself. So yes, it may look from a side that, oh, they match so well because he provides for her and she's a support for him. But if you look from afar, you will see that there is this like a cycle, but it's entanglement, but in a little bit negative sense, that they are depending on each other, that they try to put themselves in this dynamic. And yes, it's maybe from this old way of thinking, it may look like they match so well because they live together, but you have to take into account, like, aren't they too dependent on each other? Aren't they doing it out of lack of power or lack of inner powers? Or this is a good perspective to have maybe as a motivation, why we really have to develop those two parts of ourselves, like, because otherwise we'll be falling into this, I need someone to take care of me, either by support, emotional support, or materialistically. While if you feel your inner powers, like you are perfectly capable for your emotional state and you know how to build healthy emotional connection with someone, at the same time you know how to take care of yourself materialistically, and just you know how to manage the 3D situation. Like you don't depend on people, you don't look for their validation. That's a very good masculine trait that I think everyone should be able to develop, this internal validation. That's the only validation you need to kind of understand your powers, that you're capable of just managing those things around. Some feminine are lacking this and they will be looking for approval everywhere. So yes, we are meant to approve our actions within the connections, but if you believe that you have authority over some part of your life, you should not sacrifice, or you should not look external validation. Like you should have this inner power. So this is just, I can see that as a more powerful dynamic in people, and it doesn't mean that you're gonna be independent and you're gonna be just you for yourself. It's just you start creating those very powerful connections that you don't sacrifice anything of yourself. You know how to stick to your authority, because don't expect always, even if we want to divide those divine masculine, divine feminine, like oh, my divine masculine will always know what to do, how to act. Me as divine feminine, I'm gonna just provide my intuitions, because those roles are switching. Sometimes really, like, I'm being asked more from this masculine perspective, and then Dio is getting some insights, but it's for this sake of changing. Like, you really have both energies flowing through you. You cannot just abandon one part, because that's gonna be, it's not evolution, like it's a little bit of regress, because there is a scarcity in one part. So that's one thing. Maybe you want to comment on that.
Oh yeah, there was a lot of downloads. So, this is the power of being live in there, because nothing is staged, nothing is just like printed or so on and so on. Ask the universe, what should I tell the people? And they say, explain it to them, the gravity, dear. So here is what's going on in there. If you look at it, the divine feminine energies inside of you, you have that intuitions that it's talking to you, and your partner is a feminine at the same time. So you have this development within the feminine energy and in the feminine energies. When you put them both together, what is it going to happen? They're going to be kind of like a pushing back. That's the push and the pull. But if you have your masculine energies combined with your feminine energies, and you shows up to the feminine energies in here, and you provide both understanding, now that feminine energies understand the whole concept, the wholeness. This is what it's called, a whole, okay, as a person. The same thing is applied with the masculine approaches. If you're approaching masculine and your partner is approaching with the masculine, then you're not going to understand it. But if the both partners have the same time masculine and the feminine, and a masculine and the feminine, and work that out the flow, this is like a two magnets in there. If you put the south and the south note and you try to put them together, nothing moves. But if you just move them a little bit apiece, okay, and start spinning them around with south and the north note, you're gonna find out that they're gonna be attract and release, attract and release. And when they begin to spin, the both two magnets begins to spin equal. And that is it, what the journey wants, the equality of the equations in there within the energies, that both individuals are moving together within the common things, but independently from within. And when you find this balance in there within the journey, okay, first of all, that it's the purpose of this is you to not have a conflict for the future to come as a twin flame. That preset the stages for the divine union. Okay? Because if you have unhealed patterns, if you have unhealed situations between understanding of the divine feminine and masculine perspective in there within you, you're not going to know how to cooperate with the divine and the feminine, divine masculine and feminine energies in your partner. So there will be no divine time, there will be no divine union, because it's still not working out. But when you have this flow going in there within the energies, when that begins to be in there, you everything goes, I don't want to say flawless, there's nothing is perfect, but everything goes with peace, because the energies are balancing each other. And you need to understand the balance is leading to that desire of everything that you need to accomplish as a couple, as a connections, and so on, because the both two individuals are balance their energies out without being the one or being the other. Yeah, you temporarily maybe go into 100% of the one with 100% of the other. Depends on it, as Paulina said, switching the roles. But you need to understand, it is the same thing, the principle as your washing machine. See, something is spinning, and to preventing the whole machine to spinning background, there is a something which is called counterbalance. So inside of you, there is a masculine energy. For example, you have issues, you have situations, you're all this jacked up, aggravated, and so on and so on. And the feminine comes in, it's like, you shouldn't have to act like this. This is immaturity in you. You should act like a wise man. Look at it. Is that any good for you? And that anger is yours. It's not the person. Why are you putting that anger towards the connections? It's not working out. So you counterbalance that. The wisdom kicks in, change your masculine perspective, and then in the masculine perspective is like, you know what? I see that there is something I have to work on it. I'm gonna be working because this is how that goes. But I see the wisdom in that it's coming. Or for example, I feel agitated or aggravated for something, and Paulina sees me, and this is like, why are you acting like this, and so on. I'm like, here, that's what this is. That's what it's happened. That's what the situations is. Is it triggers from the past and so on. But I'm not reacting on that. But that doesn't mean I cannot be, because I already overcome. That doesn't mean that I cannot sense it. So you learning putting the connection something very powerful. Okay, that you can sense the triggers, but your reactions are completely different because you already unified the feminine and the masculine energies within yourself. You mastered them. And if you're mastering it in there, this is the time when you become this twin flame first within your own and then with your counterpart. So back to you, darling. I think I talked too
Yeah, you
much.
will be able to sense it, but just only when you develop it on your own. Like you have to have this internal sense. How does it feel to act properly as a feminine or masculine? Because it's yes, we may master out our emotions, but we don't if we don't know what the proper masculine perspective should look like. And that's the only way to know is just to really develop it. So it's to have this inner respect, inner strength, inner authority. And that's why we have to work on developing both sides. Don't fall back into the one that you feel more comfortable with, because otherwise you will not be able to recognize the proper connections. Because if you can master all your feminine side, you can be highly intuitive, you can work with energies, be all the way into a 5D, but then in 3D your counterpart will not show respect. They will not work with you, they will not they will belittle you, and you will not be able to sense it because you don't have this healthy masculine expressions with yourself. So you're not going to be sensitive to it. If you will discover this inner power and inner respect, and you know your worth, you will not allow anyone not to show any disrespect towards you, or you will be valuing the open communication. You will be valuing someone with equal inner strength and equal interdependence. Everything that you developed when yourself, it becomes your guideline. So you will not sacrifice anything that you gathered together with you. You raise up your standards, and you will not agree on anything less than that. So it may feel rough because people are they I don't know, I have a sense that there are some fears into becoming this highly powerful being that is united in both parts, that they don't want to sacrifice for anything, they don't want to have less than they deserve. But in order to understand all of that, like, you have to develop it on your own. You need to know what are those healthy standards for the connections, how they should really be created, and how they should really start. They should start from this mutual respect, mutual communication, equal give and take, all of that. There is no one side that should give more and take more, but the only way to understand what is the proper balance or proper ratio and all of that is just when you have both those both perspectives equally developed when you. Because if you neglect one part, like, you're just gonna be missing it out. Like, you don't understand what does it mean healthy. Like, how do I know this person in front of me is acting from their healthy side or not healthy side, because I don't know it in myself. So you have to embrace those higher expressions of both energies to be able to discern if someone in front of you or you're engaged in connection with do they treat you with the same level of respect or emotional openness? That's another case, right? Like if you don't, if you're too in your masculine powers and you withdrawn emotionally from your life, you will not keep it as a red flag if someone is emotionally unavailable, because that's going to be safe for you, that's going to be your safe space. So whatever you're not developed internally, you will not be able to catch any red flags in other person. So I know that there is within those connections, even we are engaged with different individuals, and sometimes I can see that if you progress and you evolve, there is a chance that you will see your counterpart not as ideal as it used to be in the past, because you will start seeing the red flags. You will start seeing, oh, that's not healthy. Like, it doesn't serve me. Oh, maybe I should not be with him or her. Maybe it's not healthy for me. But people, they just don't want to see it sometimes, because it would mean that their whole belief system would start crumble, because that would mean, oh, maybe this connection is not healthy with me anymore, but what am I supposed to do? I'm divine feminine here, or I'm divine masculine, like we are part of this couple. Like, so it's a very, I would say, this is a subtle protective mechanism that we have in these journeys, that it's gonna be keeping you in this, oh, let's put me into the box, and at least I don't have to change my mindset, I don't have to change my belief system, everything is fine. But as you bring more and more powers, you will start questioning those things, like what does it really mean to be a healthy connection, right? So that's very important, just to have it like that's your guidelines, that's your threshold, and don't go anywhere beyond that.
You open up the can of worms, baby. Thank you. You see, that's what this. She was talking about this. It's like a lot of the people. Even we're talking about years of experience here within the twin flame. Um, I'm waiting for my divine feminine to fix her job. I'm waiting for my divine masculine to step it up to the plate. You're actually waiting for you to step it up to the plate and understand what is it, the divine masculine. It's actually you to become the feminine inside of it from within you. And when we're talking about biology wise in there for it, uh, God gave you the choice to experiencing things in the female or a male masculine form. You choose your body. Okay. So this is what happens is like for example, some of the masculine, the toxicity in there, it is this codependency for attention, because the separations between the little boy and the mom was unbearable. The mom have to be there, and this is leading to unhealthy relationship mother-son situation. Another case, there is no masculine proper approach developed within the feminine because of her father. And now what's happening is in there within you building this masculine approach so you can like your father can like you. And guess what? You abandon your feminine side. So when you look at it within all those perspectives within yourself, you're gonna have to face some of those issues. Like it or not, you have to face it. Is in there, but you need to understand the masculine strength begins to be developed with his vulnerability, his openness. Okay, while the intuition growth begins with the same thing, with vulnerability. Not like, oh, I'm gonna be doing this and think he's gonna do that. Talking about the toxic feminine energies that, you're processing within your mind, those little kind of like a game planning and so on in there. That is same thing also applies as a red flags as a masculine. The masculine, it's like, okay, I'm gonna be just doing it this and this, and just so I can get her to bed. Here in soul, it's totally different. The soul is teaching you, work these energies out, work these energies out, putting it together, and that's what the universe wants. The universe wants to evolve when it that your personal evolutions and the personal evolutions of the counterpart, it comes in togetherness of one evolution. Okay, and then you're gonna be open it up this totally advanced, superior spirituality inside of it. I don't know what kind of term I need to put in it there. Or you are gonna know stuff that's far beyond to it. You're also gonna be experiencing awakening from the DNA. Now, let me explain how that feels in there, because when you are unified this masculine, the feminine's energy in there for it, you're gonna feel the electrifying through your body. Every cell is gonna be electrified. Why? The mirroring neurons combine the two energies. They produce an electricity. They create that electricity within your brain. And through the nerve system that it's existing in your body, with all the rest of your neurons in your body, all of a sudden they get jolt. You already know about this energy, how it feels like. But when you unify it, that jolt comes in together with the peace, and you become totally different in the opening. You become like an antenna for the universe. You begin to understanding this energies that floating between you and your partner, they are within inner peace. Then you are expanding on levels you can. Some of the people, maybe only dream of. Some people only hear it about it, but I'm talking about it brings the relationships in a very profound, proper way, because there is no more separation. You are unifying things, and that union in there begins to make sense because everyone in the twin flame journey wants union, right? You can want it, that divine union. You can get to that divine union, but that doesn't mean you have to sit down in your rear end in there, do nothing about it, whining, complaining, and bitching about your counterpart because you took one side of the issue, you separate your side of the problems you dumping into your counterpart, and then it's like twin flames doesn't work. Look within yourself, seeing it this, getting it within those energies, and this is how it's gonna help you out. We are practicing this with Paulina. Really, we're practicing it, and it doesn't matter. You're gonna have uncomfortable talks, but guess what? That uncomfortable talks, the feminine, the masculine energies, they're all mixed, they're all unified, they all push triggers, they all work themselves out. The solution comes in because the solution is built from the love created between the both feminine and masculine energies working combined as a whole. So this is what if you're going on for this union, need to understand this inside of you. So that's what I have.
Mm. Yeah. Also about this unifying those energies, it's if you decide to put away one part of yourself, it doesn't matter if that's your masculine side or feminine side, whatever feels comfortable, you're gonna be working more from this perspective. But if you abandon the other one, there is a big chance it's not like you don't have this part anymore, you still have it, but there is a big chance that you will be reacting from very subconscious, very often toxic expression of this energy. So if you tend to feel more feminine, you still have masculine traits. There is just a chance that you will be acting from this toxic masculine. For example, you will not stand any critics, you will not have this decisiveness, like all of those things that you have a look into the unhealthy expressions. That's gonna stay in your subconscious until you start digging into this part of the energy. It will be like undercover. Your job is to really go in there and see and do the checkup. You know, if if you haven't done it yet, just take a look and read about those feminine energies and the masculine energies. Take a look which one is healthy and unhealthy, or toxic and divine. It doesn't really matter the label, but just this balanced state and this unhealthy, unbalanced state. And you will see where you stand in both. And don't take one on another, you know. Oh, I look on the feminine and I just abandon masculine. Just be ruthless with yourself and just see where do you stand, because you may see that you have a perfect balance feminine, but you never really looked in your masculine, and you have some traits that you're not proud of, but you have to work on them and start from them, you know. And don't be afraid in digging into this, because if you haven't had a chance for all your life to even question that, you may find it's like you're discovering one part of you that you have never looked at, and it can be very uncomfortable. But once you start looking into this and really just at least put it into your attention, so it doesn't stay in a subconscious anymore, it will naturally start come out. You will may receive some guidance, or maybe some people in your way, just to help you get through this next stage. But the first step that you have to do is really to go and study that. You don't have to find all the solutions right away, but don't pretend that you don't have this part. You know, just do your very little steps just to see, to bring anything of in terms of these energies into the surface, so you know what you're tackling with. And there is a big chance, like very often, even bringing it to your consciousness, it starts this healing process. It will start, maybe it will trigger some situations that will start coming your way, or maybe your mental process will be reminding yourself those situations when you were asking, when you were acting, for example, from those forgotten masculine parts of yourself. And you will start realizing, oh, this is not how the proper mature man would act, right? This wise man. Just try to put yourself in this situation and analyze, in situations, how do I act? Do I act like a little boy that gets angry, or do I act like a wise man? At the same time, on the feminine side, right? Like anytime those situations come up, you can see, like, am I acting as a wise woman, or am I acting as a scared little girl? You know, and just analyze those things. You will probably perfectly know which part of you you're abandoning. Especially the guideline could be, do you consider still yourself as a chaser or runner, or how did it begin with you in the connection in the first place? Because as you kind of awaken to the journey, that's where everyone starts. That's how we begin, but we have to evolve further. um yeah, maybe you want to add something to that, because I have something else coming after.
Ah, there's so much going on, guys. If you separated those things in there, as Paulina was talking about it, you see the things that are underdeveloped. Now, this underdevelopment that is within a one person isn't there. The other person is going to be giving you one of the best advices you can hear about. And this is the very beautiful part of this balance of feminine and masculine energies. Oh, but I'm like this and like this, and I'm like that and like that, and I don't know what I'm acting and so on and so on. Can I put your act together? And guess what? The counterpart just says like, how about your higher self uniting those energies and they're putting within you is gonna be act and react. Would you look inside of you? You need to understand the connection mature itself as the both two individuals mature. And that maturity that it comes in with this, guys, begins with understanding. You have to understand both sides of the energies, not identified with the one or the other. Yes, you need to be identified in the basic of your physical. Yes, it is. That's how it goes. But the understanding of the dynamic of the psychology, of the philosophy, within the spirituality, within the energy, okay, the energy doesn't have a sex. The philosophy doesn't have a sex. Psychology doesn't have a sex. why you identified yourselves and are based of either sexual or physical situations in there. Because if you're female and you say, I'm a the divine masculine within the connection, well, you're acting like a what? You're acting like a masculine and you abandon your feminine side. And then that could relate to the feminine problems, feminine issues, and feminine unhealthy situations that says, you are a woman, you need to pay attention in your feminine side, you abandon your feminine side. It's the same thing as the masculine side, and there it's a reciprocity from within this. When you're understanding all of this, guys, the things are gonna be going to start falling into place. Trust me, because you do not have any more conflict within yourself about you, and then you don't have conflicts with that counterpart. Get it? I hope you get it, because it doesn't matter how much is this and so on and so on. I hope you guys can get into experiencing this. Once you're experiencing those mixtures of energies within the connection, and you see the beauty, the peace, and so on. Oh, now I know this is my counterpart, because you're gonna cooperate without any effort, without any secret agendas, without any precautions, without anything in this. Not like before on your 3D. And the 3D is gonna be based out of what? Out of the higher realm. So guess what you do? You bring in the paradise to earth. Welcome. You guys welcome about this. Hopefully you get it. All right. It's you, darling. Back to you.
Yeah, what came to me, I was trying to analyze those connections, in terms of this runner and chaser, maybe just to put a little bit more light on that. And what came to me? It's, if you take a look on someone, if you consider like a chaser, right? Someone is in this label. That means that they are focused more, let's say, within 5D expression of this connection. So it's more like maybe divine feminine. It's in general, once you are entering this divine feminine, yes, you enter more spirituality, those high levels of connection. That's perfect. But at the same time, chasing someone means need of control of the outcome. It's like, oh, I care about getting this person back, or maybe one day we're gonna get together. All of that, it sounds to me like unhealthy masculine, actually. So you can think you're acting from your divine feminine, while in general you're acting from your toxic masculine. And if you take a look on the runner, what runner does, runner is focused on a 3D, bringing the things to balance. Very often people escape from the connection in 5D, just focusing on their 3D situation, just to put those things in order. And yes, that may look like what healthy masculine would do, but also runner is very escaping. It's very passive towards the bringing this connection to fruition. It's like escaping, going out, not engaging, almost like scared of the connection. So there is some fear evolved, and it doesn't look like healthy masculine perspective. It looks to me more like a toxic feminine. So it looks to me that really whatever is missing, those kinds of labels are really not that much telling you what is your strength within the connection, but also those kinds of things like how you label yourself or how you see yourself. Just take on a flip side, take a look on this more shadow part that it's really showing you. So just to remember, if you feel more like a divine feminine within the connection, take a look on your masculine. See if there is not something that you abandon from masculine side and you have a little bit of this unhealthy, unbalanced masculine traits. If you are a chaser, take a look if you don't have some underdeveloped feminine traits. Maybe you're emotionally withdrawn, because runners are escaping. They don't like to talk about emotions. They don't feel comfortable with emotions. So they prefer to just dump it and focus on the 3D. So just take a look, really. Because once you start embracing both, like there is no label anymore, because you will not feel like a runner. I'm not running from my emotions anymore. I used to. I would I would be the example what people consider as a runner within the dynamic, that it's not comfortable to bring this high energies to 3D. That this the whole idea of this deep emotional connection was not fitting my safety, my comfort. I used to be withdrawn. So I was acting from my masculine part, but then I saw there is something wrong. Like, where are my emotions? I had to learn to develop my feminine parts. So you see, like, I don't consider runner anymore. I don't chase as well because I don't have anyone to chase. This label, this limitation just dissolved, and I would feel very bad if someone would put me right now in a box and say, you're a runner, you're a chaser. No, I am. I am balanced being, and I don't need to chase or run away from. I'm not afraid. I don't have to run away from anything. But you see how it all really comes down from this place that I know my strengths, I know my weaknesses, that they were there, but I developed them. I help them to become my positive sides instead of staying in a shadow and just being there. So yeah, that's maybe that would be useful, just for you also to share some feedback. How do you see yourself? Like, did it change for you within the connection that you were associated more as one specific label, and how you dealt with it, and what really happened when you started unifying it?
When I started Unified, first of all, I mean, you know how did that begin? I was talking about this, you know, I was more within the feminine energies. I was wounded in the from the feminine side for it, but I have to go ahead and, as you know, my boxing gloves are hanging out behind my wall. Those are my energetic boxing gloves in there to it. But I recognize the lack of masculinity, the lack of masculine positive traits. I saw my lack of vulnerability, lack of freedom, lack of particularly we're talking about the unbalance in myself. So what happens is right there. Personally, we are talking about it. I will react, on the based of the one or the other issues, but most of it is like I was in a based of the emotions. I was needed and emotional needs, and I was getting into to a point that I'm like, okay, stop, wait a minute, what are you doing? So within myself, I begin to listen more. The masculine side is like, what are you missing of the development? Oh, but somebody wants to be a runner. Oh, great, I'm not a chaser. Oh, well, I gotta get this and so on. Oh, great, but you know what? If you have issue with this, you know what? It's not about that I cannot help you, but it's like what my advice will be is looking inside of yourself. I didn't act like a toxic feminine or toxic masculine energies inside of me anymore because I begin to unify them. The first key was the vulnerability to my own self, being the truth to my own self, touch base with my feelings, my emotions, my energies, and the biggest for it is in there that about this, as you said, that runner chaser dynamic for it. Oh, if somebody wants to chase, let him chase. Somebody wants to run, let him run. But I'm not identify this with them. I'm in my whole being. I know how to manage my feminine and my masculine side. I know how to get touch based on my emotions as a masculine. Most of the masculines in there, you ask them about to express their emotions and their feelings at their lowest point. Oh my God, what are they going to do? Huh? They're either gonna go silent or they're gonna go to the men's cave. right? Picture your feminine that learned that traits. And when the husband tells you, hey, what's happening with you? What is it going on? And you go in and you've been silent, doing a silent treatment as a masculine forms. And now you are like, oh my God. See, within me, I was looking at the patterns inside of me of this, and I'm like, this is all the BS. If it's not proper, it's not right. If it doesn't lead to go forward, it doesn't help me to evolve. It doesn't develop my maturity. I'm about spiritual maturity in there. What the hell am I doing up here? Wasting my time? And now that part of wasting my time, it came to me as a feminine and the masculine energies that were not fighting, and that said, we need to cooperate together. And when you start to cooperate within these energies within yourself, which is that's what I did, and I begin to balance them out. I share it my fights, I share it my things that I go with Paulina, she shares back. And now those energies, both feminine and masculine, we basically determining the red flags. We're working on the red flags, if any, but we're also developing the green flags, which is they beginning to grow and popping as a flower. Have you ever built a flower from a seed? See how much you have to care for it and waiting for those leaves to come out? That's you. You're the seed, but that seed needs care, needs water, needs a good energy. It's the same thing with you. So my personal fights with this was say like why it's not growing, the impatience, this masculine energies that it was. But my feminine side was also toxic. Oh, I need my emotions. I need my physicality. I need this love. I need this attention. Slamming the brakes. You give that energies to your partner of what you're missing. And guess what? The give and receive begins to work. Here is your good greatest tip in your life. You're missing something, you give it to your partner. And when you give it, your partner will receive it and they give it back. And now you feel it. Now you feel it that you receive it. But how many of you is gonna give first? And this is the balance of the masculine and feminine that came to it. You give first. This is why the givers are always better in life. That is the secret. Okay, that is the secret.
But not always. Like there are
Yeah,
always those cases that you should not like. Yes,
yeah,
giving it. You should not expect anyone to like force anyone to give you anything. That should come naturally. But this is maybe heads up for people who have tendencies to overgive. Because if you tend to give to the place that you should not give anymore, this is energy is wasted. So how would you like it's important to recognize how much you can give until you realize like you're giving to the empty wall. There is no giving back. Yeah, you give, you try to do that, maybe your intentions are good, but you have to have this moment of discernment. What does it happen really with those very things that I'm giving? But this is I all I see is like this is step back and see, what am I seeing? Am I seeing that the other person is reaching back? Are they giving back? Or am I the one to give back? Yes, this is a very beautiful feminine trait again. But the masculine part would be asking, oh, hey, like, what are you doing with these energies? Like, is it going back to you or are you just depleting yourself? So this is just this checkup. Yes, as you said, like, you have to have them united because the feminine would love to give forever in a hope that it will get reciprocated, right? Like it will be given back. But there has to be this authority that will tell you that's enough. You're wasting your energy. You have to refocus. You have to maybe withdraw and give it to yourself first for a little bit more. So that's something not to forget.
That giving and
Um,
receiving, baby, it's personal first. I learn how to
mm,
give and receive. I do something, I go buy something for me.
mm,
So I can learn how it feels like it, and the you know how that goes, with the giving and the
mm,
receiving. But it took me a while, as you asked me
mm,
about it, how that is. That's how I learned first
mm.
within myself. Even
That's
I
true.
talked about videos. If somebody is missing something, go buy the things that you are missing so much. Go see, go feel it, go touch it.
Mm.
So
We have
sorry.
some comments.
All
No,
right.
no worries.
Yeah. Uh, Eva, we are understand each other energies because we have learned our both energies. Learning is great, is good, and but learning, just learning, it doesn't do anything in there. You also have to act upon it because actions determine the behavior learned. And hopefully, not breaking anything up here. Erica, I love your comment, isn't there to it? And I wish that actions of the energies is gonna start develop and going forward because a lot of the people they understand things but missing the part of completion. And the only way that completion can comes in there for it when there is a actions. Okay, there is a time frame for this or so on and so on. You put things in a perspective, isn't there? And when you're understanding each other's energies, it develops them, and it's very very beautiful. And hopefully that is that beauty about this unifications of understanding these energies for it. Lorna, we should embrace crumbling belief systems that bring us to more authenticity. Exactly, Lorna. Being authentic is incredible power, but it's not for the weak ones. It's a great power. It's a great tool for evolution. And evolution is going to be asking for this authenticity and the journey within yourself. And I'm so proud of both of us about this authenticities in there. So,
No, but that's what you tend to attract, right? Like you start with yourself and then just stick to it. If someone is not authentic enough, like this is part of your responsibility. Like that's maybe one part that it's happening on the journey. That's the more authentic you are, you will start attracting more authentic people as well, but also every lack of authenticity in your life will start bothering you more and more, and you will become more sensitive, and you will start asking, like, is it a time, like what is the proper action, like am I supposed to remove myself from this situation because really doesn't feel like my place anymore. So but again, it's asking for proper actions, right? Like this is your responsibility to cut things from your life. Sometimes they cannot be removed on its own. Sometimes the universe helps, and your life will be removing and giving your chance to remove whatever is not serving you, but there will be those moments that you have to make some choices. But definitely, this strive for authenticity, like that's one a key thing that we are being asked here. And yeah, it will be including lots of crumbling of what you know, what you believe, what you feel is familiar and comfortable. Yeah, but that's how we evolve. And then it's someone once said it's lonely at the top. I wouldn't say it's lonely, but definitely it will be quality over quantity, and you just have to change your mindset, being comfortable first with yourself, but then appreciate the ones who are also sticking to this authenticity and develop these powers within, and that's what they mirror back to you. So I think that's the
did you
conclusion
guys
for
hear
our.
that? quality it's matter. And another thing is the evolution has no mercy. It's gonna be pushing you to go forward and so on. And it's been a great talk. It's gonna be a great thanks. Thank you guys for watching. We have our think about to be for sticking out for 1 hour, and I'm so happy that we are actually keeping it this for ourselves in there. Hopefully, this kind of like a video is gonna be helping you out for it. And as we started our channel here, Paulina, as I said, we never strived for quantity here. We're striving here for the quality of the people that are going to be. Hopefully, our tips help you in your journey, isn't there? And if you guys have some any further questions, idea for topics, something that you want, and if you think that it's gonna benefit you or benefit the community in general, because this is we're talking about the twin flame community is a big, humongous thing right now. And there, please don't hesitate to get touch bats with us. But I want to say, guys, thank you so much for watching us. Um, we appreciate you, and come back in the next one. Come back in the next time we're gonna be here and so on. And we love you guys. So
Yeah, thank you,
here,
everyone. Thank you for sharing and all those examples. And good luck with unification process, I guess. And we'll be happy to answer anything that comes up your way. If not, like we are here every Saturday in Europe evening time,
exactly.
morning in Canada.
Eva, Lorna, thank you for the hearts and the stars and everything. Eva, Erica, I begin to give myself to develop my luck. When I had it, I got back from my TF2.
Mhm.
Great job,
That's once
Erica.
you start develop.
Yes,
That's what gets back to you
I
always.
was
You
get
know, when
back to you.
least expected moments. Mm.
Exactly. All right,
Thank you,
guys.
Erica.
Thank you.
And
Thank you
thanks,
for the love.
Lorna.
And let me give you some gifts, guys, so you can take that as much as you needed in there. And we'll see you next time. We love, guys.
See you next time.